When we talk about Dubai real estate, it's usually the iconic towers, the record-breaking skyscrapers, and the luxury waterfront developments that dominate the conversation. But if you've been watching the market closely, you'll know that some of the best returns in recent years haven't come from those ultra-prime, flashy addresses. They've come from master-planned communities, where buyers got in early, rode the wave of infrastructure and demand, and saw their investments multiply. And right now, one of the clearest examples of this is the Valley by Emaar. Investors who bought into the Valley just a few years ago have already seen their units double in value. And yet, in many ways, this story is still just the beginning. My name is Aisha from kun.realestate, and in this video, I'm going to give you a deep dive into the Valley by Emaar, but not just as a concept, but as a real investment case study. I'll walk you through its launch and current position, the track record on capital appreciation, the rental yield opportunity, and the growth that's set to unfold over the next 3 years. By the end of this, you'll see exactly why the Valley is becoming one of the most strategic residential investments in Dubai right now. So let's start at the beginning. The Valley was officially launched in 2019 by Emaar, Dubai's largest and most trusted developer. What made this launch so interesting at the time was that Emaar wasn't selling another downtown high-rise or a waterfront mega project. They were selling Dubai's first true suburb, positioned along the Dubai Al Road. Think about that. A community away from the dense urban core, planned as a self-sufficient ecosystem, with parks, retail, schools, healthcare, sport facilities, and thousands of villas and townhouses, all tied together by green spaces and sustainable design. In other words, it was Emaar's answer to a demand shift that was already starting to show. Families, professionals, and even young investors wanting space, affordability, and a neighborhood lifestyle, but still within commuting distance of the city. Now let's talk numbers. When the Valley first launched, you could buy a 3-bedroom townhouse for around 1.2 to 1.3 million dirhams. At the time, people were skeptical. The location seemed far, it was untested, and some investors even compared it to the early days of Arabian ranches, when that too felt like it was out in the desert. But fast forward just a few years, and those exact townhouses are now reselling for between 2.7 and 2.8 million dirhams. That's more than 100% return in under 5 years. Investors who had the foresight to get in early essentially doubled their money. And remember, this isn't speculation. These are recorded resales backed by data and transaction reports. In terms of deliveries, we're still in the early phases. That means we're talking around 500 to 600 units currently occupied, while other 3,900 more are still under construction across different clusters. Just in 2024 alone, Phase 2 of the Valley added 9 new clusters, which includes some like Farm Gardens 2, Valora, Avina, and so on. The pipeline is huge, and that's actually part of the opportunity. The market has already rewarded early buyers, but with thousands of units still to come, the growth story is far from over. From an investor's perspective, what you want to know is the appreciation sustainable? And the short answer is yes. First, because of Emaar's track record. Every townhouse villa community they've built, from Emirates Living to Arabian ranches, has not only appreciated strongly, but become an established, high-demand residential area over time. The Valley is following the exact same playbook: launch affordable family homes in an untested location, deliver infrastructure, build community amenities, and watch demand steadily rise. Second, because Dubai itself is evolving, under the D33 vision, the government is doubling the size of the economy by 2033. And that means the population is set to grow substantially. Not everyone moving here is looking for a downtown apartment or a palm villa. Many will be looking for exactly what the Valley offers: affordable villas, green spaces, and a modern residential lifestyle. That mix of affordability and end-user demand is what sustains both resale values and rental yields. Speaking of rentals, let's break that down. A 3-bedroom townhouse in the Valley today sells for around 2.8 million dirhams and rents for between 130,000 and 200,000 dirhams annually, depending on the size, finish, and exact location within the community. That puts gross rental yields in the 6 to 7% range. When you combine that level of income with capital growth potential, you've got the dual play every investor is looking for: money working for you in the short term through rental income, and wealth compounding in the long term through capital appreciation. But of course, it's not just about numbers. The reason families are moving into the Valley and why tenants are willing to pay these rents is lifestyle. This is not just rows of villas and townhouses. It's been designed around wellness and community living. There's a 250,000 square meter central park, forest trails, meadows, and orchards. There's a golden beach, a 47,000 square meter man-made beach inside the community itself. There are sports villages, kids play zones, retail centers, and an upcoming town square with cafes, dining, and shopping. So for an investor, this matters because lifestyle infrastructure is what locks in end-user demand. People don't just buy a house here, they buy into a way of life. And as more of these facilities are delivered, demand for both ownership and rental only strengthens. Let's look ahead. The Valley is still in the build-out phase, and the timeline stretches over the next 3 years. With every handover, new waves of residents will move in, retail and services will open, schools will become operating, and infrastructure will expand. That's exactly what creates upward price momentum. We saw it with Arabian Ranches, we saw it with Dubai Hills, and we're seeing it again now with the Valley. The location itself, once considered too far, is also changing rapidly thanks to massive infrastructure investment. The Dubai Al Ain Road, which runs alongside the community, has been expanded from 3 lanes to 6 in each direction, with a 2 billion dirham upgrade to interchanges and exits. That means you can get from the Valley to downtown Dubai in about 25 minutes and to Dubai World Centre in about 15 minutes. The connectivity upgrade alone makes the Valley more practical for families and commuters, which in turn increases its appeal to end users and investors alike. So let's recap. Where does this leave us? The Valley today stands as one of the strongest examples of Dubai's growth story in action. We're still in the early stages of its life cycle, with thousands of homes yet to be delivered, schools and retail hubs on the way, and infrastructure continuously expanding. Each new phase adds not just supply, but also compounding value. More residents, more services, more demand. For investors, this means we're not looking at a project that's peaked, but one that's maturing. And maturity in Dubai real estate almost always translates into stability, liquidity, and long-term appreciation. And here's the bigger picture. For our generation of investors, the smartest plays aren't always about chasing the shiniest address or the tallest tower. They're about spotting where the fundamentals align, where population growth, infrastructure investment, developer credibility, and lifestyle demand all come together. And that's exactly what's happening at the Valley. It's more than just another off-plan project. It's a vision of Dubai's next wave of residential expansion, already proven itself with numbers and still offering plenty of upside for those who enter at the right time. So if you're considering where to place your next investment, and you want exposure to Dubai's suburban growth story, the Valley is absolutely worth a close look. This is a place where families will grow, where values will climb, and where investors who move early can still lock in the kind of returns that made Dubai real estate famous in the first place.